Greetings, YouTubers of all shapes and sizes. This is Buzz Miller of Wannabe Studios. Today I'm going to teach you why it's so important to spend $1.81 more than you were going to spend. Hey everybody, I don't know if you know this. I am the biggest cheapskate you've ever met. I am such a cheapskate. And you're like, Buzz, you have a lot of crazy guitars hanging around your head. Don't tell me you're a cheapskate. Well, I buy guitars that are absolutely junked or so poorly set up that they will not play. Why? Because I really want the better guitar, but I can't afford it. And I don't afford it. Maybe I could if I did things right, but I don't afford it. And I take that home and I make that piece of junk into the guitar I really want. This isn't mine. This is my brother's. I made it for him. We actually made it together a little bit. We made this because we didn't want to afford a real one, but we wanted one that sounded as good and played as good. And I think this actually, if you ever get a chance to play this guitar into an amp, you might freak out. This actually sounds better than a lot of the big dollar ESPs that I've played. I know, sacrilege. I worked construction my whole life. That's how I made my way through school. That's how I made my way through college. And that is in the Arizona sun, sweating it out for way too many hours a day to get enough of a paycheck to come home to buy a couple of guitar picks or buy a guitar or buy an amp or buy a cable. I do not like spending money. I want to buy the cheapest thing humanly possible. So this week I went out and bought 5 packs of strings. I bought 5 packs of strings from 4 different locations. They're all pretty much the same string. Well, guess what I found? These are all Ernie Ball Slinky strings, the same one we always use. You want to know what? 3 of the 5 sets of strings are fake. They are offshore, terrible copies. The packaging looks great. When you tear it apart, the individual packaging looks great. And they're fakes. First thing, number 1, there's oil all over the strings. You look at these and they're bright and shiny, and you look at these and they almost have a black over them. Why do they do that? Well, some of the countries over in Asia that manufacture these put a nice little layer of oil because they know they're going to be on a ship for a long time over salty seas. They don't want oxidization, they don't want rust, they don't want any of that. So they have this nice layer of oil over them, which gets all over your hands, which gets all over your fretboard and starts to look really ugly. And if you've got a maple fretboard, it gives it that filth look that looks like somebody hasn't cleaned their maple fretboard in about 5 years or never washes their hands. Ugh! That's the first problem with these strings. The second problem, I took a micrometer to them, and guess what? They're not right. A 10 to 46 did not measure out at 10 to 46. The 9 to 42s were really close. The 8s measured out almost exactly like the 9s. Like they just took a set of 9s, put them in an 8-pack and said, oh, quick, sell them. I did have the opportunity on my last job to go and spend a lot of time in China. I spent months in China. I learned a few things. I got to talk to some of the people that were making and creating some of these knockoffs. And here's what I learned. China can make a product every bit as good or really close to the real thing. Here's the problem. We don't pay them to do it. Rather than say, here's $150, give me the best guitar you can, we say, what can we get for 20 bucks? And so guess what we get on our shores? A lot of parts that are 20 bucks. I have in this room DiMarzio pickups that are not real DiMarzio pickups. If you're going to go to AliExpress and buy fake DiMarzio pickups, then understand when they get here they're going to sound like cheap fake pickups. They're not going to sound like the DiMarzios. They're not going to have the technical aspects and be able to hear each string individually, and they're going to be like a lot of the Chinese cheap humbuckers we get. They're muddy, they're cloudy, you don't hear a lot of definition. If you're going to buy it off of there and get them here because they're 30 bucks for 2 humbuckers, great. If that's what you're looking for, just something to make noise, awesome. Do not come to me and say, oh, I hate DiMarzio pickups, because no, don't even think it's DiMarzio. The same thing with these strings. Don't sit here and tell me, I hate those strings. That brand sucks because I bought a cheap Chinese knockoff and I believed it was real and they were awful. So, you got them covered in oil. You got the fact that they do not measure out to what they say is on the packaging. And the last one, string them up, play, and you're out of tune. And you pull them back in, you're stretching them out like you do every other string, and you play and you're out of tune. And you tune it back up, and then pretty soon you're out of tune again. They do not hold a tune, which is terrible when you're locking a locking system. Now you're unlocking the stupid thing because your fine tuner's way the heck in. It's a disaster. If you're a new player, you're now mad because it's not sounding like what you want. You're following the tabs and you realize that this is now so unbelievably flat that it's sounding wrong. You get discouraged and you quit playing. Or you know what you like to hear out of your amp and you put these on and they don't just sound quite right. You're not getting that sound out of your amp and you're saying, oh man, are my tubes going bad? Do I got a bad cable? Is it the humidity? What is it? Let's do the world a favor. I paid $1.81 more for the real set of strings than I did the fakes. Is it really worth all that headache to go out and get fake strings to save $1.81? Nope. Now, here's the thing. I pulled 2 out. They both look great. And then I saw, oh, the real one has real tight jagged edges on the top, and this one's got loose jagged edges. Oh, great. That's how I'll know what a fake is. You go onto eBay, this place that has 10 sets of strings, they take the picture off of Slinky's website and post that picture. So it shows, oh, that's the right one, and you get it, and you go, oh, it's the wrong one. If you can, go to your mom and pop music shop. Go in there, look, feel, talk to the owner. That's most likely going to be a really good bet on getting the right strings. If you're an online guy, if you live way too far away or you don't have a mom and pop shop nearby, do yourself a favor. Go to the sites that are standards. Go to the Sweetwater. Go to the Musician's Friend. Go to that type of thing because you know you're going to get the real thing. Sometimes there's some online places that you can trust. A couple of the music stores that I bought these from sent me fakes. Can't believe it. For $1.81, it's not worth the headache, and it's not worth the lack of tone or the goop you get all over your fingers or all over your guitar or the need to sit there and clean your fretboard again. It's just not worth it. Just same idea as buying a set of Oakleys from a street fair where a guy made some cheap plastic knockoffs of an Oakley and you wear them and the glasses are kind of like this and they're different colors and whatever. Just understand, hey, I paid $6 for these glasses and it doesn't matter that there's an O on the side. They're not Oakleys, and I'm not going to judge Oakley by these glasses, and I'm not going to try to pawn them off trying to say, yes, they are real. But if your money means as much to you as my money means to me, let's take a little bit extra time or an extra $1.81 and go get the right thing so it's something we can count on. Why? Because my friends at Sfarzo Strings have spent decades and decades and decades to make a better string. It's not just a piece of wire that's 9 thousandths thick and 42 thousandths thick. They have technology, just like, I of course like them better than the Ernie Ball stuff, but Ernie Ball and their team has spent years and years and years to try to find a better string. if you want that in your camp, all those years of expertise, all those years to gain the knowledge to make that string correctly, spend $1.81 more and go get the right ones, rather than saving a couple of bucks and being disappointed when your guitar is all messed up, your fingers are all covered in black zhuzh, and you can't keep the thing in tune, and you say, oh, I hate those Ernie Ball strings. No, just say what it is and say, wow, I really hate those knockoff strings I got and got taken advantage of. It saves you money in the long run. Buy the right thing. I play with the cryogenically frozen Sfarzo strings. Part of it's my climate. It's very dry and very hot here. I can keep a set of strings on a guitar for 5 years without it dying off the tone. That right there is way worth $1.81. To be able to keep something on there and know every time I pick this thing up, it's going to sound right when I try to record something with it. That's worth it to me. Spend a couple extra bucks or do your homework and know what you're getting. Because this place over here that's selling them for $1.81 cheaper, it may just be a bunch of junk that they got off the boat and they're trying to peddle to you. And it doesn't matter how many times it says Ernie Ball on the front or how pretty the packaging is. Only 2 of those 5 I just threw are the real deal. Hey, thanks for watching. Pay that little bit extra and it'll go way longer. And, as always, keep on rocking.